The babysitter kept talking to someone upstairs. I still don't know who she was talking to. And after what happened that night, I'm not sure I want to. It happened 6 years ago. At the time, I was a single father raising my 8-year-old daughter, Lily. After my wife died in a car accident, things became difficult. I worked long hours, and sometimes I had no choice but to hire babysitters. Most stayed for a few months, some only a few weeks, but none of them lasted very long. They all quit. Every single one. None of them ever explained why. Until Emily. Emily was 23, a college student, kind, responsible, and Lily liked her immediately. At first, everything seemed perfect. Emily helped with homework, cooked dinner, played games with Lily. Honestly, she felt more like family than an employee. But after a few weeks, I started noticing something strange. Whenever I came home late, I would hear Emily talking. Not unusual. Except she wasn't talking to Lily. Her voice came from upstairs. The strange part? Our house didn't have an upstairs. Just a single floor. 2 bedrooms. A kitchen. A living room. No stairs. No second floor. The first time I heard it, I assumed she was on the phone. But when I entered the house, she was sitting on the couch. Alone. Watching television. Who were you talking to? I asked. Emily looked confused. No one. I could have sworn I heard her voice moments earlier, but I let it go. Then it happened again. And again. Late at night. Always after midnight. Always coming from above. As if someone lived on a floor that didn't exist. One evening, I came home earlier than usual. As I unlocked the front door, I froze. I could hear Emily laughing. And another voice. A child. A little girl. I smiled, assuming Lily had invited a friend over. But when I entered the living room, Lily was asleep on the couch. Alone. Emily was standing in the hallway, looking upward, smiling, talking to someone. Did you finish your homework? She paused, then laughed. No, I don't think your father would like that. Another pause. Then Emily looked upward again. Good night, sweetheart. My blood turned cold. There was nobody there. Just the ceiling. Emily. She jumped, turning toward me. Oh, you're home. Who were you talking to? Her smile vanished. No one. This time, I knew she was lying. Over the next few days, I became obsessed. I checked the attic. Nothing. Installed cameras. Nothing unusual. No sounds. No movement. But every night, Emily continued her conversations. Always with someone upstairs. One Friday night, curiosity got the better of me. I decided to review the security footage. What I saw still gives me nightmares. At exactly 2:17 a.m., Emily walked into the hallway. Then she looked upward, smiled, and began speaking. But she appeared to be having a conversation with empty space. She appeared to be having a conversation with empty space, occasionally laughing. Then, suddenly, she stopped smiling. Her face became pale, terrified. She slowly backed away and whispered something. 3 words. No, not again. The camera flickered. Static covered the screen. And when the image returned, Emily was gone. Completely gone. 30 seconds later, she calmly walked back into frame, smiling again, as though nothing had happened. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I confronted her. At first, she denied everything. Then I showed her the footage. The color drained from her face. Tears filled her eyes. And she finally told me the truth. She had been hearing a little girl. Ever since her second week in our house, the girl appeared above the hallway. Invisible. But Emily could hear her clearly. The girl said her name was Sophie. According to Emily, Sophie was lonely and afraid. She said she lived upstairs. Emily had assumed there was some hidden room, until Lily told her the truth. There was no upstairs. That's when Emily became frightened. I wanted to fire her immediately. But before I could, Emily asked one question. When exactly did your wife die? I froze. The accident happened 6 years ago. Emily burst into tears. Because Sophie told me something. My stomach twisted. What? Emily's voice trembled. She said her mommy died 6 years ago too. The room went silent. Then she whispered the sentence that changed everything. And she said her daddy still blames himself. I couldn't breathe. Only 3 people knew the truth. The police, my therapist, and me. I had never told Lily. I had never told anyone. But I blamed myself every day. I had been driving. I survived. My wife didn't. Emily stood up. There is something else. Sophie said she doesn't understand why you can't hear her anymore. I felt my heart stop. Anymore. Not can't hear her. Anymore. What does that mean? Emily looked terrified. She said you used to talk to her all the time. I nearly collapsed. Because suddenly, I remembered. Not memories exactly. Fragments. Tiny pieces. Laughter. Tea parties. Bedtime stories. A little girl. Not Lily. Someone else. Someone younger. Memories I had buried. Or forgotten. Then I remembered her name. Sophie. My daughter. My first daughter. She died from leukemia when she was 5. 2 years before Lily was born. My wife and I had been destroyed by grief. Eventually, we stopped talking about her. Packed away the photographs. Moved houses. Started over. But somehow, I had forgotten. Not completely. Just enough to survive. Emily looked horrified. Sophie said she's been waiting for you. That night, I stayed awake. At 2:17 a.m., I heard it. A little girl's laughter. Coming from above. Impossible. I stood in the hallway. And for the first time in 7 years, I heard her voice. Soft. Tiny. Daddy. Tears filled my eyes. Sophie. Silence. Then. I'm scared. The ceiling above me cracked. The sound echoed through the house. Not from above. From inside the walls. And suddenly I understood. Sophie wasn't upstairs. There was no upstairs. She never said she lived upstairs. Emily had. Sophie had only ever said one thing. I'm with the lady upstairs. My blood froze. Slowly. Very slowly. I looked toward Emily. Standing beside me. Smiling. But it wasn't Emily's smile. Her head tilted slightly. And a voice emerged from her mouth. Not hers. Not Sophie's. An older woman's voice. Cold. Empty. The babysitter kept talking to someone upstairs. Final chapter. The lady upstairs. Lily's screams snapped me out of my shock. The house plunged into darkness. Not normal darkness. Something heavier. Something that felt alive. And somewhere above us, something moved. Heavy. Slow. Like footsteps. Impossible footsteps. Because there was no upstairs. Emily stood motionless. Her head tilted unnaturally. That same smile frozen on her face. Then the voice spoke again. Not Emily's voice. The old woman's voice. Cold. Ancient. Patient. You forgot her. My heart shattered. Sophie's voice had disappeared. And whatever was speaking through Emily wasn't pretending anymore. It knew. It knew about Sophie. It knew about my guilt. It knew everything. Then Emily collapsed. Her body hit the floor. And suddenly, the footsteps stopped. Daddy! Lily screamed again. I ran into her room. She was sitting upright in bed. Terrified. Pointing toward the ceiling. She's crying again. Who? The little girl. My blood froze. You can hear her. Lily nodded. She says she's hiding. Hiding from the lady. At that moment, I heard it. Very faint. A child crying. Not above us. Not inside the walls. But beneath the house. The basement. The basement I had almost forgotten about. We rarely used it. The previous owner had sealed most of it off decades earlier. I grabbed a flashlight and carried Lily downstairs. Emily followed behind us, dazed and confused. She had no memory of what had happened. The crying grew louder. Then we reached the back wall. And for the first time in years, I noticed something strange. Tiny handprints, children's handprints, pressed into the old concrete and hidden beneath layers of paint. Words, written over and over. She is not my mother. She is not my mother. She is not my mother. Emily gasped. Lily started crying. Then the wall shook. A section cracked open, revealing a narrow room, hidden beneath the house. Inside sat an old rocking chair, and dozens of photographs. Photographs of families, children, babysitters, owners of the house, stretching back nearly 100 years. Every photograph had one thing in common. Standing in the background was an elderly woman, always smiling, always watching, and every picture showed one more thing. A staircase leading upward, a staircase that didn't exist. Then I found an old newspaper clipping. Missing children case closed, 1937. A woman named Margaret Hale had operated an illegal orphanage inside the house. According to the reports, she became obsessed with the children. When authorities arrived, they found the building empty. Margaret had vanished, along with 13 children. None were ever found. Locals claimed they heard children crying from the walls, and neighbors reported seeing lights from an upstairs window, even though the house had never had a second floor. Emily whispered, "The lady upstairs." Then Lily suddenly pointed behind us and smiled. "Daddy." I turned and saw Sophia,